background of COVID-19. COVID-19 apparently come and created from animal origin habitat. From what I found, they informed that the virus actually come from a bat. The first confirmed case, which is on human infection, were in Wuhan, China. And that case, yearly case reported on 1 December 2019. From what I found, the case related and started from Huanan Seafood Wholesale Market, who was sell a live exotic animal. Actually, this marketplace mainly created for food ingredient purpose.
Coronavirus are a family of viruses that cause respiratory and intestinal illness in humans and animals. Coronavirus are relatively simple structures and their form help us to understand how they work. They are spherical and coated with spikes of protein make this virus, also called as envelope virus. The new SARS-CoV-2 is most closely related to a group of SARS-CoV found in human, bat, pangolins, and simians. Even though there are many similarities between the new COVID-19 and the virus that caused the SARS epidemic, like the severe acute respiratory syndrome SARS epidemic in China and the Middle East respiratory syndrome MERS on the Arabian Peninsula. There are also different resulting from changes in their channels. This includes how they are passed from one individual to another and the differing system of coronavirus. A yearly report suggests that the new coronavirus is more contagious than the virus that caused SARS but less likely to cause severe disease.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Sami Ibrahim Zulkifli. I would like to talk about the pathogenicity of the COVID-19. It's good at infecting through the upper respiratory tract as well as deeper down to the lung. It has 5 steps to infect human cells, which is first is absorption, penetration, synthesis, maturation, and release. So the first is absorption. Absorption, where the protein spike helps the particular virus to bind with the ACE2 receptor on the outer lipid membrane of a susceptible human lung cell. The configuration of spike protein has a complementary fit for cell receptors, and it is called the docking process. The secondly is a penetration, where the lipid membrane of the particular virus will fuse to the lipid membrane of the human cell, and then the RNA material from the virus will penetrate into the human cell, and then they will go to the synthesis process. In synthesis process, the replication of RNA virus will occur, and they will start to hijack the human cell to synthesize the viral protein by using the host cell's mechanism. RNA will act as a molecular message instructing human host cell machinery to read the template and translate it into a protein. Next is maturation process, where the virus will assemble all the components to make a complete virion in cytoplasm. The final stage is a release process, where the virion are released by the exocytosis or budding out from the cell through the membrane of the cytoplasm, nucleus or endoplasmic reticulum. For your information, each of infected cell can make a million of a virion and infect another cell. As the result of the hijacked host cells, over time the host cells will begin to lack the important component, and this is what causes the host to begin to present the various symptoms. For example, is fever, cough, and tiredness. The early symptom may include the loss of smell and taste. Another symptom is short of breath, difficulty of breath, muscle ache, chills, sore throat, pink eye, or we call it conjunctivitis, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and rash. Certain medical conditions that may increase the risk of serious illness from COVID-19 include chronic obstructive pulmonary disease or COPD, cystic fibrosis, or more severe pulmonary hypertension can cause death. So how can it spread? When a person with a virus cough, sneeze, breathe, talk, or sings, the respiratory droplets will discharge, and these droplets can be inhaled or land to someone's mouth, nose, or eyes. When a person is exposed to a very small droplets or aerosols that persist in the air for several minutes or hours, the COVID-19 virus can spread, and it is called as an airborne transmission. But also, if you touch any surface with the virus on it and then you touch your mouth or nose or your eyes, the virus also can be spread.
The impact of COVID-19 on humans based on socioeconomy and mental health. I am Putri Nolana Arani bringing you this topic today. At the peak of COVID-19 pandemic, many businesses were forced to close. The Movement Control Order (MCO) established by the government in hopes to decrease the spread of coronavirus had significantly affected local and international businesses in Malaysia. Popular brands such as Esprit and MPH were also affected, forcing the closure of multiple outlets. Esprit had confirmed the shutdown of over 56 outlets outside of mainland China. Meanwhile, MPH closes down 9 main outlets in Malaysia. It is reported that over 37,415 entrepreneurs were pressured to halt their businesses. This includes micro-entrepreneurs along with small and medium enterprises. This outbreak also caused a sudden change in education as students are made to attend online classes. This change not only challenges students' ability to adapt but also reduces efficiency of education, as 37% of Malaysian students were reported to lack access to online learning, especially in rural areas. The isolation and quarantine orders might have helped in reducing coronavirus spread. However, it also created an ideal environment for abusers to trap their victims. In March, 50% of the calls made to an American national sexual assault hotline were by minors, according to RAIN President Scott Berkowitz. That is all from me, and we shall move on to the next segment.
I'm going to explain about how the government control over COVID-19. Step by step, the chronology of the outbreak. First wave outbreak in Malaysia, all the cases are imported cases from Singapore, which is all the patients are China nationality. Second wave outbreak, which happened at Masjid Jami because of Tan Sri Petaling Tabligh cluster that triggered raising cases in local transmission. Third wave outbreak, which comes from Sabah, this is because of the PRU selection. The government strategy to control COVID-19. First is movement control order. Second, enhanced movement control order. These two set up in the second outbreak. Movement control order, social quarantine or more popularly known as lockdowns, coupled with social distancing has become an almost standard protocol in the control of COVID-19 spread across the world. Malaysia took a similar approach and start with 2 weeks of lockdowns during a phase 1, and then subsequently another 2 weeks and extended for 8 weeks total lockdowns. Enhanced movement control order, which is identifying high-risk district and localities in an EMCO, or residents are required to remain indoor at all times. A medical base is set up, door-to-door screening of all residents for COVID-19 using the RT-PCR method is conducted. And SOP, I'm going to highlight it later. About vaccination, vaccination is really mandatory to all the Malaysians. This is because to build of immunity towards the COVID-19 virus. This is how our Prime Minister at the moment, Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, update the news to Malaysians from time to time in our national TV broadcast. I'm going to special highlight about special quarantine places for patients COVID-19 during the outbreak, even for illegal immigrants. During lockdown, only one member can go outside to buy the necessary things for the household. Our SOP more likely to highlight about personal hygiene, respiratory etiquette, physical distancing, mandatory of wearing face mask, and health screening if you have COVID-19 season. That's it from me. Thank you.